Hi everyone! In this video I'm going to demonstrate how to install and use XMap. XMap is a smart solution to programmatically and instantly create all your expression maps so that you can use them in Cubase, or you can also import them in Dorico since those are compatible too. As you probably know, the way you have to create expression map in Cubase is not really the best. So here you need to add a track, create expression map, and most of you who have tried to create expression map in the past know how ugly and difficult it is to manage such an interface. Also because the main issue is that from one expression map to the other, you have to restart and build everything again. You cannot just, for example, reuse articulations that you already defined for another expression map. To solve that, I'm glad to present you today XMap. So XMap, the concept is that it's based on a database, which is easily done in Excel. And of course, you can edit with Excel, Microsoft Excel, or with any other application that is able to manage and edit such type of files. So let me show you how, maybe let me show you first an empty one. So what you got from that is this. Well, so we have the first page, clearly instructions of how to use this file. And then for several sheets, and then you have this sheet here where actually you can start to build your articulations. So here is really, as you can see, an ID for every articulation that you're gonna use, long with a short name, with a description, so the long name, a short name, the color that you want to use in Cubase, and like whether you consider it as an attribute or a direction expression map. So then actually what it means that here in your Excel, in this sheet here, you are creating your database of all your articulations that then you want to reuse in multiple expression maps so that you have something that is consistent and coherent. Like if you have legato more times, it's always shown in the same way, it also always has the same color, it's always the same type. And how does this work? Then actually in the sheet, which is called expression maps here, what you do is that you can see you have defined your the library, the name of the expression map that you want to create, all the articulations which are there, and then of course you put the remote, the other information like in Cubase, you have the remote, the colors, and so on and so on. But first let's see it in use, and then we will build one. So what do you get when you purchase XMap is this folder here that contains the Java jar that you can just double click and execute, plus this template that contains already two expression maps inside as an example that you can use as an inspiration. Of course, eventually you can always erase everything and start from zero. To execute the XMap, actually the only things you need is to install Java. So, and here in the readme.txt, you can see that there is the information. So here is also the website where you can download Java. So then as soon as it is installed, then you just need to go and double click here. So this is XMap, very simple. So here actually what you need to do is that you need to put your information about your email and your license like that, and apply. Then you type in here, so you paste actually the license which you have received on your email. Actually, when you get an order, so then you will get a license here, and then you just click reset license to initiate the process. Voila, it will tell you that the reset is done, and then you will be able to authorize this machine. So it means that from this moment now on, you can use this credential and the tool will work. So then actually what you need to do is that you create here in the source file, you need to select the folder that you want to use. So in that case, for example, I will select the one where I know already there is a lot of content in it. Then you select a folder where you want your when you want to create actually the outcome. So I will call it here XMap demo. Okay, and I will put here this folder here. And so then the only things you need to do is click. So let's open this one first. So let's click on Generate Expression Maps. And you will see here that there is all data which is created. So it's all here. And now, of course, all this works. If I open Cubase, I can go there. I can do expression map setup. I can load. And I will go then to my desktop and put here and open one of them. Okay. Voila, here it is. This is all being generated based on the content of the Excel file. Let's see some other one which is a bit more complex. Yeah. So you can see that also, and we will go into details of that. Here, when you create your expression map, you can choose whether you want to use a controller, or you can even choose whether it should be a key switch. So you are not limited only to use controller or key switch, but you can use both. You can also use them also in combination. You can have up to 2 different key switches, and you can have up to 2 different control change that you can put together. Of course, those expression maps, you can also import them into Dorico, because the expression maps from Cubase, they are also compatible with Dorico, as you know. So now let's make one together. So for example here, let's suppose that I'm gonna create an instrument track, and I'm gonna use my contact. Well, let's take this instead. Okay. In my contact instance, I'm gonna load Spitfire symphonic brass, eventually trumpets, a 6. Voila, and now we are going to use this one to create our expression map. So let's see. Create a new expression map for that one. So first of all, we need to have a name of the library, a code, that in that case, Spitfire Symphonic Brass. So we will call it Spitfire Symphonic Brass, whatever. Then we need to decide the name of the expression map. So this is really the name of the file. So we are gonna give the same name as the instruments, trumpets A6, SSB, trumpets 6, and we are gonna start adding expression map. So in this one, the best things we can do is actually to lock to UACC, so it's the controller change 32, and use that one, but we are gonna do it also with the key switch, don't worry. So as you can see from here, this tells me that the CC20 is the one that triggers this performance legato. So let's suppose that we just call it legato, which is already there because it's already on my articulation list. The order of the articulation, I want to put it as a first one, so I'm gonna put 0 here. The remote, I wanna give a remote, the first slot for remote. As you can see, the color is automatically coming from the articulation. So because I decided that the legato should always be with that color. The name, the type, the description, they also comes automatically from the other sheet. So as it is clearly said here, you don't need absolutely to edit those columns here. And then here is where actually you decide how do you want to trigger this articulation. So the first one is actually something that you can use to fill in the data to, whether you want to use a CC124, that for convenience it's already set. So in that case, I don't want the CC124. In that case, I want the CC to be 32. So this is the CC data 1. And I want, so what we saw last it was 20, and I want here that it's 20. And then there are also the key switches where I say -1 because I don't want to use the key switches, so I'm gonna put -1 in all those attributes, and we will see it later on how does it work for the key switches. So that's it. Actually, let's do another one because otherwise it's not nice. We have a long, which is the one. So again, I'm gonna say same library, same name for the file. Long is probably already in there, and if it was not there, I should have created one here, but you can see it's already in there. Then I'm gonna say as an order I want it to be the second one, the same for the remote, the rest is already set. And as I say, for the CC 124 data 2, I don't want to use it at all, but I want the CC to be the CC32 on the value 1. And for the key switches, I input -1 because I don't want any key switch for this specific one. So that's it. We just actually created a new expression map for this trumpet A6 which has 2 articulations. Of course, it's up to you. You can continue and do whatever you want. So now we close it. We close the file. We close also this one. We open the application. And now we change the file because that's not the one I was using. It should be this one instead. Let's go into that folder. Let's remove everything because there were all the 747 of before. So generate expression maps, and here you will see 3 folders where the 2 are the one that are as an example in the file, and the second one is the one that we just generated. So let's see now what happens in Cubase here. So for this one, sorry, like that. So it's output on the contact on the MIDI channel 1, and I'm gonna say that the expression map for this is the one I just created. So this one, open, voila, here it is. So you can see it just created one expression map here with all the information that we had. So here you see the short name, here you can see the long name, yeah, here direction, so yeah, the one that the value that we gave, and here as you can see legato it's with the data to 20, and this one is with the data to 1. So it worked perfectly. So let's create another one now, and let's use instead the key switches. So here let's add a new instrument track, and in this case let's take, for example, yes, BBC Symphony Orchestra from Spitfire Audio. So in this one, it's a very good one because actually here it's very simple. You can choose and you can change, for example, from a CC, from key switches. In that case, let's say that I want to do it with key switches. So let's come back to our file. Okay, let's go to the expression map. So I'm gonna put just a code for this one, BBC. I'm gonna say that the instrument I'm gonna load here is the horn. So I'm gonna say BBC horn. And then which ones do I want? I want the staccatissimo. Staccatissimo is D-1. So let's see, let's check if staccatissimo is already in the list. Yes, it is. So I'm just gonna use it. Okay, I want it to be the first one that I see. I want the first remote, or eventually you don't want any, just put any number you if you don't use it. As before, all these things gets automatically loaded. Then for the CC minus CC 124, I don't use it. In this case, I'm not using any CC data, so I'm gonna put -1 to all of them. But I want to use a key switch. So which is the key switch? So here we say that is the D-1. So what I'm gonna say, is so which one is the D minus 1? For example, 12. Okay, so you can see here that when you type a number here, it will tell you with which note it is. So D minus 1 corresponds to the value 14. And then this one, so it's the value that is the value that is sent, so it's typically the velocity. Most of the time you don't need it. So here I'm gonna put just simply -1 because for me it is just enough to define, yes, trigger that button. In some case you want also to use the velocity here to yes, to make something different with the expression map. And then here on the second key switch, I don't need it because there are some times where I had to use 2 key switches, so that's why also it is here. Let's add a second one, maybe one that does not exist in the articulation list. For example, long cuivre. Okay, it's not there, so I'm gonna create it first. So let's give it a name. A short name should be something like that. A long name should be something like that. The color, just gonna pick a number here. Articulation type, I want it to be a direction, so I will put 1, and that's it. And now I can go again to my expression map and I can say, okay, for the same library, for the same instruments, I'm gonna use long cuivre, which is in the list. It will be the second one. The remote will be the second one. All the other data comes directly from there. I'm not using any I'm not using any CC value, so I'm gonna put this always -1. And the yeah, which one was the long cuivre? E -1, so it's probably 17, 16. And then for the rest, I'm putting also -1 because I don't need to generate data for that once. Let's save, close. Now open the XMap. Let's look at the content. So generate, actually, if I just generate, it will override what is in there and it will add the new one. So here, as you can see here, the new one was just newly created BBC. Here it is. Let's go to Cubase and let's import that one. So add the MIDI track, which we load the BBC, and voila, here it is. So you can see the 2 ones are there, where you have a note tone with the value that we selected. You can see one was attribute, one was direction. Everything is created and everything is ready to be used. Because of course now if you go there and you open this and you see here articulation dynamics, you can see that if I set it, here it is. So then now you can start do it thus, and you can start to edit articulation like this, or you can edit them through the keyboard the way you want. What else to say? So here something which is also available on the website for purchase is this Excel file that actually contains already 1700 articulation that comes from at least 67 libraries, I think, and already 747 libraries expression maps coded here that you can use to generate everything. So these are the ones that are available on the Flow professional versions. How to get your hands on this? It's very simple. So the website is artificialharmonics.com. Well, there is a direct link here on the home page. Otherwise, you can go on the eShop also, where of course there are much more products. There is also the Flow product, and then actually you can go there and you will see. So that's it. I hope that you will find useful and happy to share. Let me know in the comments whether there is something you want to know, or keep in mind this might be a product that like Flow I will keep on maintaining. So I'm really also keen to hear your requirements and to see what kind of things do you want to add to the tool. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.